Hey Stampers! So today I have a fun card that's going to be really quick, really easy, and it's going to definitely wow anybody that you send it to. So we're going to use the Stampin' Up! Stippled Blossom stamp set. It is a 2x Stampin' stamp set, which is awesome in itself. But as I started to envision this card, I was going to do the 2x stamping. But then I just pulled out the one flower, the more detailed flower out of this this stamp set. I stamped it one time and was like, wow, that would make a great background stamp. So that's exactly what I did, is I started to stamp it in all the different different ways to make a background. Now this card that you have here is using Bermuda Bay, and you're like, how did she get her hands on the Bermuda Bay color? Well, my husband is always like, how did you get so much stuff? Well, it's because I don't let go of all of the retired and the older stuff. I just keep it all, and I just love it so much. So I found my Bermuda Bay stamp pad and an extra pad of paper, and that's how I made this card. But today, since we want to shake it up a little bit, we're going to do Gumball Green, which that is another fabulous color. So I've pulled out Whisper White, Gumball Green. I'm going to do a post on my website, and I'll have a link in the description so you'll be able to see all the dimensions. So don't worry, you're not going to hear them here in this video today. What we're going to do is we're just going to go ahead and get started. I'm going to fold a piece of Whisper White cardstock in half. That's the base of my card. And then I've got a Gumball Green piece of cardstock. Now this piece is going to center on the top of my card. Just going to center right here on the top. Perfect. We're going to set that aside. Now I have the next size smaller. I always cut in 1/4. So this is, I'll just go ahead and show you that. So the way that this is shaped, this is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. And your next one is going to be cut in 1/4, which is going to be 4 by 5 1/4. That's right, so this is cut in. And now my next one, I want to layer on the inside, so I'm going to bring it down 1/4 all the way around again. So this is going to be 3 3/4 by 5. So it's really easy when you think about it that way. So what we're going to do is we're going to start stamping. I love to stamp. So earlier, I was stamping my Gumball Green, and I noticed it was really light. And I didn't really particularly like it, so I pulled out my my Gumball Green ink refill, and I just started dropping some drops onto my stamp pad. And the idea on these new stamp pads, I think, is you just want to make sure that that when you do this, you take a bone folder or you take another piece of paper and you kind of push that ink around. Because I've actually put drops on there and then went to put my stamp on there and stamp, and you could see the spots on my stamp. So you want to make sure that the ink is distributed evenly on the stamp pad. So we're going to go ahead and stamp this, and you'll see that when you add when you add the ink refill, how much darker it looks. So I really liked that. But maybe you're going for the light look. It's entirely up to you. So a lot of times people ask me, well, are you doing this any certain way? Absolutely not. I am just stamping this guy. Now the neat thing is sometimes when you make backgrounds and things, you don't want to stamp it and then stamp on top of it, because sometimes it throws it off and looks a little funky. In this scenario, it works. And it is like so cool. Let me just tell you, I love when it just works really easy and it makes something so fun and dynamic. Looks like you spent all day or you bought this paper, but we just made it. Look at that, really cool. Now I would recommend, kind of turning your flower to the right, to the left, just all different ways, because you definitely don't want it to look too uniform, I don't think. So we're going to go ahead and glue that here right in the center. That's perfect. That's easy enough, right? Now, before I go on, I'm going to open up my card, and I'm just going to stamp one flower right here on the inside. You see that? So when you open it up, just a nice little touch, right? Then we're going to take, and I have got a Whisper White strip. I have a box of scrap paper, and I'm always looking for ways to use it. Never throw away your scrap paper. Always keep it. So this is just a Whisper White scrap. On this card, the Bermuda Bay card, I actually embossed it with my square lattice embossing folder. But today I'm just going to put it on here and I'm not going to emboss it. And the reason is because I want to show you that sometimes less is more. You don't always need all the fancy stuff. It's great to have it and we all love to have it. But you know what? Not everybody has it. So you know what? This looks just as nice, doesn't it? Very pretty. Now we've got our gumball green rectangle. I'm going to put my Stampin' Dimensionals in each corner. Nothing crazy because you know I like dimension and I like things popped up. And I am going to center this. I'm going to kind of put it more towards the top. I don't really want it centered totally in my card, but I'm going to put it more towards the top, kind of centered on top of my Whisper White strip. So there you go. Now we're going to move on and we're going to stamp our greeting. And I pulled out the You're Amazing stamp set from Stampin' Up, and I pulled out the Happy Birthday. I loved little swirly doos on each side. I just thought it was really cool. So anyway, we're going to use that. I think I got that last year at convention. So convention is coming up and I am so excited. So if any of y'all are going to convention, put a shout out to me because I hope to see you there. All right, so we have Happy Birthday. We're going to stamp that right here in the middle of our Whisper White piece. See that there? Awesome. We're going to put some tombow on the back. And can you believe it? We're just about done. We are just about finished. I've got some Stampin' Up jewel rhinestones here. You know, and I still think that, you know, it is really nice just the way that it is. But I just like those little added touches, you know, just a little something extra. So I'm going to go ahead and add jewels. Now, I may have overdone it a little bit with 6 jewels on here. But, you know, it's just kind of fun. So I'm going to go ahead, these little circles at the end of the swirly-doo here. It just works. So, I don't know. I don't know if they're meant for jewels or not, but boy, it's a perfect place for them, and it looks really cool. So, there you have it. Isn't that awesome? I love this card and the simplicity of this card. So, I'm going to say move over Bermuda Bay, because Gumball Green is just as cool. Now, I have got an envelope here, and I'm going to go ahead and make it a fun stationery, because you know, that's, you know, it's fun to have it like finished, that finished look. So I like to start out by opening my envelope, and you're going to ink it back up. You've got the same flower, and remember, kind of turn and twist, and you want to randomly stamp back and forth. You don't want it to look too uniform. Now we're going to close our envelope and then stamp over the edge, just like that, back and forth, and then one here. And I'm going to just add one right there, and then we're going to turn our envelope over, and just like we did on the inside of our card, let's put one flower on the outside of our card. So there you go. Take a look at that. How cool is that? So that is it. This is using the Stampin' Up Stippled Blossom stamp set, and we only used one stamp out of there, and one stamp pad, and 2 cardstocks. So pretty darn cool. So I hope you give it a try. You know, it can be a fun card. You can stamp any greeting, of course, on there that you would like. So give it a try, and thanks for stopping by.